We're at the home of Dianne Stowers and Mike Callahan. Dianne, I was so delighted to pull up and see a vineyard in your front yard. This is fantastic. Tell me about your grapes.
Well, most of these grapes, all but one, are a variety called Roussanne, which is basically a French, it's originally from southeast France. It happens to like this climate. It matches pretty well its native climate. They are a pretty expensive grape, so I thought maybe Oklahoma might get in on the bandwagon and make some money. So I've been working with them since '06.
Okay.
And as an experiment, and I'm also using them to develop a non-toxic fungicide because I'm an organic gardener and I don't like the idea of spraying anything I'm going to eat or drink after with systemic toxins.
Right.
So I've been working on that. It's working out pretty well, and they seem to like it here. They're a picky, finicky grape. They have to be harvested by hand.
Okay.
They are a bunch grape, which means they're really tightly packed into the bunch, and so they're very susceptible to fungus. So they're a good one to experiment with. And some of the techniques I have worked out are just specific to them, like when they go from the flower stage to the grape stage and they have all those little fuzzy sepals that need to come off, they're so tight that they have a hard time doing that. So I shake them and thin them, and it has really helped.
Okay.
So we work out different techniques for the different grapes. The only grape that is not a Roussanne is actually a hybrid grape, which was designed by the University of Florida years ago for growth in hot, humid climates like Texas, Florida. It works real well up here. Because it's a hybrid, you can make your own vineyard once you get one grapevine, because every year you thin it and you can plant the cuttings. So
I noticed you have several cuttings potted up around the
I have this
garden.
year's cuttings and last year's cuttings waiting to help someone install a vineyard.
And when you started your vineyard, you actually took our short course, our grape growing short course.
I did, and I enjoyed it very much. I worked, Eric Staffney was at OSU then, so I met him and Phil Mulder, who was, every time I'd find a bug, I didn't know what it was, I'd just shoot a picture of it to Phil, and he'd tell me what it was. And that way I determine which are my predator bugs. And so the spiders and the predator bugs get to live on the plants. Everything else goes to the fish. And
as any good vineyard, you have roses planted on the outside. Tell our viewers about that.
Well, roses, one of the biggest problem that Oklahoma has with grape diseases is black rot. And once it gets started in your vineyard, it's really hard to catch up with it and get rid of it. Roses get it too. That starts out as the black spots on the leaves. You can see it on several of them.
Yeah, we have
how
some
they
here.
do have it. But the roses will live through it easily, and they get it before the grapes do. So once you see it on your roses, you know it's in the area, and you start treating for it.
Excellent. Now, in addition to the grapes, you have edibles throughout your garden, which I love seeing. There's blackberries and asparagus.
Yes, I figured I might as well make some use of this extra space for annuals, because the grapes are perennials and the annuals don't take up much room. So when I have a few square feet, I stick something edible in it.
And the other thing you like to grow are natives.
I love to grow native wildflowers. I've been doing that ever since I moved to Oklahoma, because the growing conditions here can be so harsh.
Yeah.
And so the flowers that are already here are accustomed to it. Like the basket flowers are very beautiful.
Yes.
They're not fully open yet. They open up into purple
Oh yeah,
flowers.
they're wonderful.
And the coreopsis, and of course the lobelia, and the butterfly weed, and the echinacea over there. They're all native. Some of them I got from down the street in the woods in this neighborhood. So they do real well. They're all perennials. They're all drought resistant, which is very important. So even last year didn't kill them.
Well, around back you have a beautiful feature, and I'm going to go visit with your husband to talk about that.
Okay,
Thank
it's nice
you.
talking to you.
Well, Mike, from the front yard, you would never know that this magnificent water feature is hidden back here. This is fabulous.
We hid it.
You hid it. And recently you shared it with all sorts of visitors on the Green Country Water Garden Tour.
We did. It was the second year on the tour.
Excellent.
Had a great time. It was fun.
And you designed this, you and Dianne together.
We
did
designed
a
the
lot of work
deck
yourself.
and everything else around it.
Absolutely beautiful. I love the way you use the slope, have it cascading down with a nice pool at the bottom.
You know, in defense of all that, we didn't know what else to do with the slope.
Well, it's a good way to make lemonade out of lemons, right?
Exactly.
one of the things I found interesting, you were explaining a bit about that this is a living system and the plants and the fish are all part of that. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, one of the things you'll notice immediately is how clear the water is.
Yeah.
That's all natural, and it's natural because the pond's in balance. It's we don't plant anything in pots. Everything is planted directly into the gravel, which means every fall I've got to go pull a bunch of stuff out of the plant because all the roots will grow across the mat that's down there, and it'll try to take over the pond. But the plants use the nutrients that are in the gravel,
Right.
so they don't become excess phosphates and excess nitrites. And we have a skimmer filter and a biological filter. We keep the beneficial bacteria levels up so that they fight against the algae, and that's why you don't see any, because they're up. And the skimmer filters get cleaned every day, so the nitrite levels stay down. So what you see is a pond that supports fish, supports frogs.
Yeah.
We do have a snake on the property that runs around and chases the frogs.
Yeah.
And it's just, we have a little bat house up there that occasionally gets occupied. And it's just a whole ecosystem.
Beautiful system.
It's fun.
At the top, I really love the thalia, and you were talking about that's planted right in.
Right in
it
the gravel.
also shades the water, right?
Yeah, you'll notice that once you leave the trees, that's wide open sky. And water in a stream like this is only about so high.
Yeah.
So the sun's rays will go through the water and create algae. So now I have an umbrella, and it's natural and pretty.
Absolutely beautiful, and it's flowering for us today.
Yes, did it for you, just for you. Even that was growing here this morning just for you.
Well, this is really beautiful, and I'm sure a great place to come relax after working up in the vineyard.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.